Hello everyone, hello. I'm here again with this new tarot reading, general and personality. This time I'm going to do Suga's, Yoongi's, of BTS, and I'm going to start always making this disclaimer about what my tarot readings are about. I am a professional tarot reader. I work with the tarot in a therapeutic way because I am a therapist, I'm a counselor. So tarot, it's a great tool to get to know yourself. It's a great tool to connect with your emotions and connect with what you're going through. But in this aspect, when we ask for someone that it's doesn't give their consent, or we don't know, or we is someone that is far away and it's a different energy that we don't know, there's a possibility that you can pick the energies, and there's a possibility that it changes, or it's totally different of what we think. So I like to take this opportunity to say that these readings are for entertainment purposes only, and all the information and all the interpretation, I will do it with a great respect for each of the members. And I would like to also make a clarification because there are people that has been asking me to do shippings on readings, and I don't do shipping readings because I find them disrespectful, but I can do, like, for example, the dynamic in a relationship in the case of the members between each other, how they are getting along, what challenges they are facing, how they can grow into their relationship, in what state they are, because we all know that relationships tend to change in time, and especially this kind of relationship that involve working together. So those I will do, but shippings, readings, I don't do because I found them disrespectful. So I'm going to start by reading the archetypes cards that came out for Jungi. At this I already placed because it took too long for me to shuffle and record it, so I already shuffled and placed them so you can see them. They are in English, they are in Spanish, so I'm going to translate. Some of the words are very similar to Spanish, but some of them are not, so I'm going to translate. The first card that came out, it's Midas. Midas, remember that it was like a king that had the ability that everything he touched turned into gold. So when you have the Midas archetype, it means that you have like a very powerful creative force within you to be able to turn everything you make and everything you put your hands in, to turn it into gold, to turn it into a success, to turn it into a creation that it's very successful, that it's very prosperous, that it's very abundant, and that eventually it's a very great joys. And people that are this way are very self-aware of their power, of their ability to be able to turn, maybe in the case, if we think about Jungi and his ability to write music, to make music, it's like he has the touch, and he knows he has the touch. He has that creative touch. Whenever an idea comes into his mind, he goes through this process that is almost like hypnotic, like he goes like into it, like almost like a spiritual trance, because it's like he goes beyond, because he is very sensitive, so he gets really deep and in touch with his creative and his emotions and his inner world. Nothing about his life and about what he encounters, it's unknown to him. He is very wise, and he takes everything that he has seen and that he had experienced in life, and he wants to share it with others so others can be inspired. Maybe the downside or the not so positive side of this Midas archetype is the fact that he can get too greedy, because it's like he knows he's going to make a success, and he knows he's going to make something very valuable, and he knows he's good at what he does. So sometimes he can be a bit selfish, in the sense that he is always creating, because he knows that maybe his songs are the first that are going to get picked up or selected by the company. So he likes to produce, because he knows he makes hits. But maybe sometimes he goes into this phase where he works non-stop. It's like he's constantly getting intuition, so he's always connected and he's always bringing something new. But when you are part of a group, sometimes you have to be able to be more flexible, because it's not only about what you create, because there are other members, and other members are also interested in delivering something that it's theirs, that is their creation. So in that sense, it's like he might need to work in this side to not get too greedy with making a lot of songs. I mean, to, of course, to save the ones he have, but not to go like on a very like full mode of I'm going to write 100 songs in a week or something like that, because then his good luck and his special touch in the creative process can worn out, or can sometimes disappear, because he's not connecting for the true purpose of creating something valuable. He's like creating it because he wants. It's like that saying that it's the quality versus the quantity. So sometimes it's better to have a few songs, fewer songs, and not to have like a lot of songs that you have like stuck up, and that you don't give the others the place, and you don't give yourself the rest, the mind rest, because the creative process is very tiring. So he needs to be able like to filter a bit, so he doesn't get too like greedy with that aspect. The other card that came out is Messiahs. That Messiahs also talks about a very special human, a very humble person, very spiritual person. Is as if he is a figure within a group that he doesn't speak his mind very often, but when he does, he cuts everyone's attention, because his words are of wisdom. His points of view sometimes are so breathtaking, are so out of the box, are so deep, and are so out of the world. It's as if he's able to see the whole picture. And sometimes he just, maybe they are arguing about something and they are like 2 hours like rambling on the same subject, and then he comes and he says one small phrase, and everything is solved, and everything is fixed, and it's settled, because he's very wise, and he has this ability to bring light into matters that sometimes are a bit hard, especially when you have to live with others and you have to compromise and you have to get an agreement with a lot of members, because they are different. All of them are, but he especially, it's someone that is very humble in that sense. But he knows of his power. He knows that he has this ability to connect with a higher self, and sometimes he knows things that he sometimes he even surprises himself, because he's like, how do I know this? I never experienced this. How do I know this? Why am I feeling this way? Why do I feel that I know this? Why do I feel like I've been here before? Like I went through this same experience before? It's because he's an old soul. So he definitely has a lot of experience that in this life is like he I don't know if you guys are familiar or believe in past lives, but I do. And in the sense of thinking about Jungi's energy, I think that he is very he went through a lot in his previous lives. He went through a lot of poverty, and he had to fight a lot for what he had, for his family, for his loved ones, for his people. So he definitely is living this life that it's like his best reincarnation or life, because he earned it in a sense that he struggled so much in his previous lives, that this is like this present life he's living, and this fame and everything is like a gift. It's like a gift, like saying, okay, in your previous life you went through a lot. You went through a lot of painful things. You saw things. You saw people you care about die. You suffer a lot. So I'm going to give you a life that you can enjoy. That you don't have to suffer. That you don't have to fear for if you are going to have food on your table, or if your family is going to be safe. No, I'm going to give you the opportunity to make success. That's why he's so hardworking, because inside of him there's this still he has this perception of lacking. Is as if he's afraid to lack, to sometimes to lose things, because he lost so much in his previous lives that he still remembers a part of that. And the next card that came out for his personality, the archetype of the Alchemist, also a very spiritual card. The Alchemist is someone that is able to transform its reality. They transform it by setting goals and aspirations, but always from a place of wisdom, never from a place of selfishness. I mean, what he creates, as I mentioned before, he can get a bit greedy and a bit ambitious with, like, you know, when you feel like you are good at something and everyone tells you that you're good, it's like you are like, oh, okay, I'm going to keep doing this. And in that sense, it's he does feel that he is like a magician, that he is able to mix different aspects of his inspiration and to build something new and something different. But he pours his heart and his whole essence into this process. Of course, he wants to be successful, but at the same time, he wants to create something unique and he wants to inspire others because he knows he's able to do it, that he can do it, that he is in a privileged position where he has the opportunity to be able to speak up about subjects, to be able to be heard, to be able to communicate to a greater audience. So he gets even more inspired and really in tune with his calling. It's like he has a calling. His calling is to be able to inspire others, to be able to touch people's heart, and to swift their realities with his music. He is someone that it's very, his presence, it's very alluring in the sense that he has this magnetic field around him that I don't know him in person, but I can feel it in my bones, that he is someone that is very ethereal, very angelic, that he's out of this world, because he's not just a boy. He is even I wouldn't even qualify him, or maybe put him in a box, in a gender, saying he's a male. It's he has very great integration of feminine and masculine side in himself. But at the same time, he's like air. He's untouchable. He's like bubbles. Like you try to touch them, try to reach them, but you never can reach them, because he's different. And sometimes that's why he's always very cautious, and it's always very reserved when it comes to interactions, because he knows he's very sensitive, and he can sense things. It's as if he doesn't get too close to people, because he sees things of people. He is able to see their lives, to see their motives, to see what they're hiding, to see what they're fearing. So it's once he gets connected to you and maybe he's talking to you, he's able to see through you and past you. So sometimes that scares him a lot. So that's why he doesn't even do eye contact, because he's afraid to get carried away, or maybe to be a little intrusive with his perception or intuition about you. He's he wants to maintain a distance, but because it's not only good for you, but it's also good for him, because he uses a lot of his energy when he interacts with others, and when he is listening to you, or maybe you are telling something about you, he really gets really deep connected with you. So, and for him, sometimes he gets caught up in other people's feelings, and he doesn't know how to get out, how to go back to the center. So that's why he always turns to music, so he can switch off that empathic, because he has a lot of empathy, but sometimes it's hard for him to be in large crowds, because he gets too attached to other people's energy. So let's see what we have for Jungi in the next 6 months. Let's do this general reading for him. This deck that I'm using today. It's the Viceversa deck, and it's because it's called the Viceversa because it has double sides, and it doesn't have a back, like it has like different sides. He's definitely very hardworking. In the back it came the star. The star is a very spiritual card. It's about destiny, it's about karma, it's about faith. He definitely has like a guardian angel around him, like a divine energy that protects him. Actually, there are a lot of cards that are very similar to Jin's, and actually I think I saw in RM the Eight of Pentacles. It's very it comes out a lot. Because the Eight of Pentacles talks about perfection in your work. It's to be able to still work on the details. So they are definitely very detail-oriented people, because they're always working. And for him, he's very passionate about what he does, because we are starting off with the Three of Wands, and next we have the Two of Wands. So he's definitely a visionary. He's definitely someone that as I already said it in the Midas card, first card, he's very like very creative in that sense. He always has like ideas, and since he's always having like a lot of projects saved, he's thinking about talking to the managers, or talking to the people, the producers and other people in the company, about releasing maybe some of his work. He actually, it's more like they are asking him to maybe perfectionate some of the work he had saved, and they want to release it. Some of the songs that he is making, or that he has made in the past, that it's saved, they want to release it. They are thinking about it, and they want him to get involved again in that, because it's like he worked on it and he saved it, and he even remember he had it, but now they're asking him to review it. And they're also asking him to review other members' work. It's as if they're like there are some members that the company feels that is not polished enough. So it's like they're asking him to listen to it and to review it, and if it's possible to make the changes they consider that it's needed. So, and he's feeling a bit tired about that, because it's not the first time that they ask him to do this. And actually, I don't know if it's BTS songs. Actually, it can be other group songs. It's as if they trust him with his good with his talent, and with his critical eye, and with his ability to always work on the detail, because he's very detail oriented. So they are like, oh yes, we want you, if you can review this, because we are not sure if it's there's something that it's lacking in the song, so we want you to review it. And he at first he was really excited. He was like, oh yes, I'm I'm really busy because I have other things to do, but I will take it because he likes to help. He likes to be of service. He likes to serve others and to help others. So sometimes there's this aspect that everyone says that he's really hardworking and that he works non-stop. And actually sometimes he wishes he wouldn't work that much because he gets tired like a normal person, like everyone else. It's just that he cannot say no. Is this kind of almost like it started like a subtle help, like everyone is going about to him and like asking for advice, and it's like he gets involved in other people's projects and helps them, but it's like he doesn't register, or he's not aware that he's doing it because he's so passionate about helping, because he does it so from the heart. But then when he knows that it takes an extra look, because he is very perfectionist, so he's always going to is going to want to give his best. It's like he's not going to take it and maybe like leave it in halfways, or maybe like just look at it and it's like, oh yes, it's okay, it's okay. No, he gets really involved, but sometimes that is very tiring for him. And at the same time, he also experiences this feeling of feeling powerless, of feeling like he has, that his ability and his gifts to be able to create a new reality, to create new forms of art. He feels as if they are taken away from him, as if someone steals from him, but not like steal physically. It's just that there's this. It's as if he doesn't get like the recognition he deserves. I think he has worked in a lot of projects and he still is going to do it, but it's like they don't mention him, or they put it in someone else's name. So he feels like he's been like robbed. Like there's someone that it's, I don't know if you can see this card, that it's about someone that it's taking a search in the middle of the night and leaving. And actually now he's considering maybe in this next 6 months to be able to be more reserved about the work he has done, about the work that he has on the making also, because he used to be like really open about it, like, yes, I have this song and I'm working on this song. And now he's thinking that to be able to get his power back and his control over what he creates, his creation, he needs to be a little more sneaky, in the sense that he needs to grab his things, grab his creations, and choose not to talk about it. Not unless it's already finished. It's already finished product that he can like present, like share. He definitely has the need. He wants to travel. He wants to get out of the country a bit. I think this, I believe all of them feel the same way. But in this sense, is like there's something about the company, to be in the company, in that building, that he feels a bit like suffocated, in the sense that there's a lot to do. There's a lot of responsibilities, there's a lot of pressure also. But it's like they ask more of him, because they ask for his producer skills, not only as a BTS member. It's like they have their BTS schedule, but they go for him and they ask him to do all these arrangements, all these little tasks on others' music, because they know that he's very hardworking, and that maybe it's because it's this sense that he's not very sociable, so that he doesn't have like a lot of it's like they call him and he's always available, and it's like they are like, oh yes, he doesn't have a problem because he's at his house or he's playing games in his room, so they're like, he's available, let's go ask him. And the other members are like, yes, we do things, we go to rehearsals, we work on what we want to work, maybe we go and work on a new hobby and want to start studying. And he's like always in this responsible producer mode, because as I mentioned in the first, he is a very great creator, but is like maybe now he's really starting to think that it's starting to see himself and to realize that is part of what happens is because he allowed it to happen. I mean, because he wanted to be helpful, but at the same time he didn't know how to put boundaries. So it's like they are taking what he has allowed them to take, and now it's getting uncomfortable for him, because he's switching, he's transforming himself. He wants to be a different person. I think this lockdown, the quarantine and everything, and what happened to his arm, the surgery and everything, something about it has made him shift his point of view. It's as if he had like rebirth in some aspect of his personality. It's like he's more aware that he needs to be able to be an alchemist again, an alchemist, and an alchemist for himself, not only for others, but for himself and for his own personal reality, and not only for others' reality, because he's like too involved in other people's circumstances, and he's like missing doing his own inner work, inner reflection. He has to center in himself more. Otherwise, they're always going to see him as this hardworking guy. So he feels a bit used, also like I wouldn't say taken advantage of, but they are definitely like taking him for granted, like saying, oh yes, he's over there, let's ask him, he has time, he wants to do it, he wants to help us. And actually maybe in his mind he's like, no, I don't want to help you, I want to take a day off. But it's like they already built this image of him not being able to. Yes. But I think that this rebellious side, actually it comes from, there's something about his emotional side, that something in the past or recently has hurt him, has hurt him in really deep. I don't know if it was like a romance that went wrong, but it's an emotional disappointment. It was as if something didn't work out the way he wanted, and he's really disappointed. He's very absent-minded. It's like he doesn't want to deal with his emotions, but at the same time his emotions require him and are asking him that if he wants to be himself again, and if he wants to be owner of himself, he wants to be a master of himself, he has to be able to see the wounds, to see the hurt, to deal with the pain. He cannot escape the pain. He has to talk about it. He has to, if he wants to use it as an inspiration, he can use it. But he has to acknowledge that he's suffering first. He's disappointed. He went through like a heartbreak, and it's like he's not recovering from it. He thinks he got over it, but actually it's in his mind all the time, in his unconscious. So he's not able to be himself again, because and it's been a while that he has been this way. He feels this way. But actually, as you can see, this is the side that is the front side. You can see this armor with all the swords in. But actually, if you turn it around, you can see that he is no longer here. This is the armor. This is what he was wearing when he got hurt, when he got stabbed. But this is no longer him. He has to acknowledge and move on. He has to be able. But to do that, he has to recognize it that the disappointments that he had about an emotional connection that he had is not about his worth. It's not about who he is or what he's worth or whether he is worth of loving or being loved. It's about hardships. It's about, sometimes we think when we meet someone, we wish and we dream that that person is going to be the one, but sometimes it doesn't work. And he's a bit disappointed and tired, but he blames himself a lot. He blames himself a lot because it's like he gives this image of abundance, of, this, oh yes, I don't need anything. I'm okay on my own because I have economic stability, because we are doing great with the numbers, because we are winning a lot of awards. But at the same time, the wound and the pain is still there. So he has to acknowledge that, and he's doing it. He's starting to get to see that it's not healed the way he thought he was. He thought he was over it, but actually he's not. And it's not actually about the importance of the person that hurt him, because this person is not here and I cannot see who this person is. But all I can see is that he blames himself a lot. It's like he senses that he's going through a period of apathy where he doesn't care for anything, and he's like on automatic mode. He's like, oh yes, I don't feel anything, I'm okay. And at the same time, he does this to protect himself, because he doesn't want to face that he was hurt, that he's hardworking, that he trusted someone, and that someone didn't work out. It didn't work out. But those disappointments are part of life. The heartbreaks are part of life. They are in a position where they are very well known, they are very popular, they are very celebrated in all around the world. So sometimes if we as regular people struggle in personal relationships, You have no idea how these boys, these men, struggle to be able to make a true connection with someone, especially in his case, that he's someone that is very spiritual, and it's very like very profound and very sensitive. So it's actually pretty like obvious why he is this way. Is because he gets like involved emotionally, like attached, and then he gets mad at himself because he's like, why did I put myself into this situation? Why did I let it go so far? Why did I get involved so deeply? And he blames himself for it, but actually it's part of his personality. His sensibility and his intuition and his ability to connect with others in a deep, profound way is part of who he is part of his blessings, is part of his is part of the level of consciousness he has and the wise he is. And of course he's going to have to keep living, and the right person will come for him, but he needs to make peace with himself and not to be too harsh on himself, because opening up and expressing your feelings and wanting a relationship with someone and being vulnerable is not a negative thing. If the other person is not ready to accept the love that we have to give, is the other person problem. We deliver it. If the other person, if the other part doesn't take it, it's not our problem. It's the other people problem. So he needs to heal. He needs to face a few things. So, well, guys, this I'm going to end my reading here. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please like it and subscribe. So thank you very much, and see you next week for Hobbies and Jimin's reading. Thank you.